Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome back to our Genesis class live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg. I'm sorry about a few minutes delay. Rabbi was just finishing off in another class session, and he wasn't able to get the new Zoom room open until the old one closed. So these things take a couple of minutes, and then I got to wait till everything ramps up here to send the stream to Facebook and YouTube. But we are here, and I'm joined by many, many, many people in the Zoom room. So let's just jump right in to see how the rabbi's doing. And all right, let's jump in. Shalom, Rabbi Goldberg. We're going to turn the class over to you, Rabbi. I'm getting all kinds of other people popping on the screen. If everybody else in the Zoom could mute their mics so Rabbi can speak without any break-ins, screen break-ins. Rabbi Goldberg.
Good.
You're live.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. We're learning Genesis here. Okay, we're learning Genesis. There are a few things that I've passed in the last 2 weeks with the questions that I think are fundamental questions about a lot of how do I say it? How to learn the Bible, what exactly the way of learning the Bible. I think that first of all, we did a lot of courses on Udemy. You can find it. It's explaining the basic things. And we're doing now a renewal for our site. So soon you will find it also as you will find everything in front of you. Just a moment. There is. Oh, I'm muted. Emma. So you can find a lot of things there. I will say in principle a very important thing, and I will also nail it today in the message of this week. I think this is one of the interesting secrets of how this thing of the Bible, the Torah, is working. I will say the truth. It's not. I will try to explain this like that. Let's jump for a moment to Genesis, and I will show this to you in Genesis. Okay, I will try to show this in Genesis, not in the place where we are, but in the beginning. You know, Dan, that I looked for the lesson. In the beginning, we didn't call this Genesis classes. We called it something else. And I was looking for the...
We were doing with our friends in Lithuania. So, yeah, it started right then.
Yes, but these, and I was looking for the class, the tree of knowledge and tree of life, and I didn't find it. And it can't be because I'm sure that it's on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's also on the International Noahide network too.
So I need to find it. Okay, I want to go for a moment to chapter 2. Something that we've learned 3 years ago. So some of the people here joined a bit later, and it's always also good to remember things. Okay, and we explained more than once that chapters 1, 2, and 3 are not something in this world. Okay, let's jump for chapter 3 for a moment, and we can see at the end of chapter 3. Please read verse number 24. He took Adam, Eve, he took them out from the Garden of Eden. And I'm saying this more than once. When someone, God forbid, is dying, we're saying to the young, to the grandchild, he's asking, where's Grandpa? And the answer is, Grandpa is in heaven, but the body is here. So when God took us out from the Garden of Eden, basically what he did, those 3 chapters are speaking about something that is not in this world. It's in a different era. It's in the era of the heavens. We are not in heaven. We don't know exactly. And part of this is a metaphor, part of this is from the secret side of the Hebrew, of the Judaism. No old scripture is starting from even before the chaos. Okay, the second verse of the Bible is the chaos. The first one is not the chaos. Is God created this world. We don't have any other holy scripture, so old scripture that is starting even before the chaos. And those 3 chapters speaking about something that we don't, it's not in the knowledge of this world. So when God is speaking, when the scripture is speaking about the serpent, the woman, and men, it's not speaking about things that we can see in this world. Okay? It's speaking about something a bit different. It speaks about, I'll go like that. It speaks about 3 main powers that we have inside the human. Each human, in the time that it wasn't even separated, men and women, it was one. At the beginning, it was one. In the Hebrew tradition, or in the Hebrew language, we have the word Adam, that is including men and women. And then we have Ish v'Isha, husband and wife, man and female. But there is a word that is together. And this together word is being brought in chapter 1 and chapter 2. And we're speaking about 3 main powers inside the human. And the 3 main powers are going like that. One of them is the serpent, that is a very smart thing. Okay? Here it's written down, cunning. How do you say this word? Cunning, right? This is a word. Done? You're with us?
Cunning.
Cunning is coming from the word very, very smart. Okay? So the serpent was something very smart. The women also was here, and the man was here. And all of them were combined together inside Adam. And when we're looking on each one and one of us, we understand that we have the brain, that is a very smart part of the body. There are people who are so genius, and they're thinking very fast, and they understand everything. We also have dumb people, but the smart part of us is the brain, and we have the feelings that we have. Here it's being mentioned as the woman, and we know that the woman is the more feeling side of the couple. Okay, and we have another side that is being related with the moral side of God and relation with God, that it's above the smartness. When I'm saying above the smartness, the smart part that we have is not going out from what there is. Okay, 1 and 1, 1 plus 1 in the smart side will be ever 2. But the truth is that when you're taking 1 and you're adding another 1, it is 2, even if you won't call it 2. It's not adding anything. You just combine together 2 things. But it's not adding anything outside from what we have. All the smart people that we had from Aristotle onwards, their smartness, okay, is a closed world. Everything is very restricted. You can't grow up a bit more than that. There is a very genius person that his name is Walt Disney. I think that all of you have heard about this guy. He was a very anti-Semitic person and a very rude one, but never mind. This thing, he was also on the other side very genius. And one of the things that he did, he combined together the music with the pictures. Okay, this was his genius thing. And he said something like that. He said, the knowledge will bring you from A to point B. The imagination will bring you from A to everywhere. Okay, the imagination is going outside a bit more, but the knowledge is very restricted. From A, you must come to point B. Go to mathematics problems, and you will see that all over the world, all of the people are thinking the same. The world is very closed. It's not open. It's not open to discussion. Okay, and this is the serpent. The serpent is the brain side. Now, in the Hebrew nation, we say that we are not only looking to be smart people or only to use the brain. By the way, in the Kuzari, one of the things that we are learning that the Bible and the words of God will never contradict any, logic idea. It can't contradict because God created also the logic. But there is something more than just the logic in this world. And this is where you're getting connected with God that is giving blessings to this world, more than what there is in this world. And this is the fight here between those three powers inside the men, exactly. The smartness that doesn't recognize it, don't want to accept. Also the moral side, and that there is something bigger than the human. The part that is much bigger that is joining at the end of the story, and the emotions. Those are the three things that here are running with each other. Now, if we are trying to learn the Bible only through the brain that we have, this is where we're falling down, because the Bible was given to us in the era that there was a prophecy, and God, who was blessing the world, was present in this world through the prophets, and they spoke. And those are the words of the prophets, the will of God. And if we're trying to understand that only with our brain, this is where we're losing it. This is where we're losing it. Now, it can't contradict the brain, or the knowledge, or the normal patterns of thoughts. But on the other side, it's much bigger than that. And if we are learning it only because this is what I understand, or this is what we understand, or this is what we think that we understand, this is where we're losing everything. Because it's not only a smart thing. What happened in Hanukkah? Hanukkah, it's a different era. Hanukkah, we're celebrating every year Hanukkah with the small candles. Okay, what happened in Hanukkah? The Greeks met the Bible, they saw the Bible, and they said to themselves, this is a very smart book. Let's translate this book to 70 languages, to all of the languages of the world, and put it also on the shelf of the library for every place in the world. Because it's such a smart book, everybody needs to read this smart book. But the Bible is not a smart book. The Bible is the will of God. And the will that we have is much bigger than just the smartness that we have. With the will, we can approach, or we can achieve everything that we want in our life. And we can give a lot of examples for that. With the smart, I will give a simple explanation, simple example. Okay, we know that someone who doesn't have legs, God forbidden, it's hard for him to walk. He doesn't have legs, so he needs all sorts of machines to help him. But if you will go to the Paralympic Olympics, okay, after the Olympics, with all of the people with the disabilities, you will see how the will that they have, the power of the will that they have inside, bring them to achievement that normal people can't achieve. So the will can bring them to a much higher stage in their life. And the Bible is the will of God. And we need to listen to this will, to those words, in the era of the prophets. And the only way to have it today is through the sages of the Hebrew nation, who had preserved those ideas along history. And if you want to do it with your own mind, it's okay. But you're not managing to be on the stage of understanding exactly what the Bible is telling us to do, or the Bible is showing us, guiding us, what is the will of God. And another thing that I'm saying a lot of times, we are learning the Bible in a way that it's teaching us how to behave today. It's have, there is a say of one of our sages, okay? Raise up from what you've learned and see exactly how things that you've learned, you can act with them in your daily life. It's not, it's like I said it once, it's like looking on a live football game or basketball game, or looking on a game, on a replay. It was yesterday. To look at a game of yesterday, it's not exciting. To look at the game that now is happening, this is really exciting. Why? Because it might change. And this is what's happening here. We are learning this Bible in a way that it's now alive. So those are the 2 points I wanted to mention as a beginning. And now we can dive inside to where we are. If there are any questions, this is the time. If not, we'll continue. Not everybody together. Not everyone together, as usual, I'm saying. Okay, yes, we can continue. Done? Continuing? Yeah, let's go. Let's learn something from Isaac. Okay?
Right on.
Something that we've showed, we mentioned it a bit last time, and I want to dive a bit more inside this and this lesson. And it's going like that. We said already that God saying to Isaac, "You're not allowed to go out from the promised land."
Go
So
to
now we
Egypt,
have
yeah.
a very uniqueness of Isaac in two levels. Level number one is that he is the only father from the three patriarchs that we have that didn't went out from the Holy Land. Abraham came from outside, then he went to Egypt, came back. This is Abraham. Jacob lived, born in Israel, and then he went out to Haran, came back, and then he went down to Egypt. The only one who didn't went out from the Hebrew, the promised land, was Isaac. And the second thing that we know, that Abraham had two names. The first one was Abram, and then God changed his name in chapter 17 to Abraham. And the second one was Jacob, that his name is Jacob, and then his name was changed to Israel. We know that from the reading of the Bible. So they had two names. Only Isaac have one name. Isaac, that's it, Isaac. He doesn't have any other names. In the Hebrew nation, the word name is also what? This you need to know. If you don't know this, so I'm a very bad teacher and I need to go away. Okay. In the Hebrew nation, what is the word name? What else it is containing?
Purpose.
The purpose. Hey, Baba, thank you very much. Okay, I can stay here now. The purpose of life. Okay. When I'm saying in the Hebrew the word name, I'm also saying what is the purpose of your life. So Abraham is complicated. You have two names. Something there is not straight. Something is changing. There's something in the beginning, and Rabbi Dov mentioned in the meeting that we had before, that in the first 48 years of Abraham, he was worshiping idolatry. Okay? Something there is very complicated. It's not straight. Jacob is also very complicated. Okay? And soon we're going to learn how he stole from Esau his blessings. Okay? He was a very complicated person. You have two names. You have two different identities. I will mention that one identity is Jacob, very inside, only sitting in the tents and learning Torah. I can say a very frum Jewish person. And the other one is Israel. Israel is, in Israel, in the Israel land, fighting for the land, know how to build up army, to build up a nation, startup nation. Two kinds of Jewish people. The Jewish and the this is Jacob. He's very complicated. The only one who is not complicated is Isaac. Okay, Isaac. He have one name, one purpose in life. He's in the country. He's not moving. Everything is very clear. This is how he's working. Everything is fine, and he's getting the blessings. Please read verse number 3, 4, and 5.
3. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and I will bless you. For to you and your seed I will give all these lands, and I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father. And I will multiply your seed like the stars of the heavens, and I will give your seed all these lands, and all the nations of the earth will bless themselves by your seed. Because Abraham hearkened to my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my instructions.
We have here the blessings. Look again, God, when he's interfering in this world, when he's coming to this world, he is also not staying on the same stage. He's giving blessing of the world. What is a blessing? If I will say it like that, for us, it's very regular to think that the apple tree every year will give us fruits. But who said it's so clear that the ground, okay, can give us fruits every year, and so much, and so many. And if you will go to ask the agronom people, those who are working on the fields, they will tell you that there is a difference between a year and a year, and there's a difference between places and places. There are a lot of differences that can change this blessing. The taste that we eat inside, that we feel inside the food, is some sort of a blessing. It's much more than what we have. Not what we have as usual. We have more than that, the blessing of more than that. And this is what God is saying to him. You're going to be the blessed person. And this is where Isaac, who is also a field person, and the field is the place where you have the battles. We said that Esav is a field person. He's going to the field. Let's go back for one. I'll go here. We have Esav, see? A man who is understood hunting, a man of field. He's going outside. But what is he doing with his field? He's hunting. What is the meaning of hunting? Taking life. I think we said it more than once. There are two things that we as human beings doing, and I'm not sure how much it is so moral behavior. I will say it like that. We are stealing the milk from the cows. Who allowed us? Who gave us permission? Okay, it's the cows. Why are we taking the milk from the cows? And we're also taking life from the cows and eating them as meats, as a meat that we're eating, right? Who allowed us to take from them their lives? So the truth is, come down, all of you. When Noah is going out from the ark, God is saying to him, you can eat meat. Okay, why? You earned it, because everybody, all the meat, all the animals in this world were ripped out in the flood. They were killed in the flood, except the animals that were inside the ark. And who gave them food every day? Who helped them? Noah. So when Noah went out from the ark, God said to him, you earned the ability to take their life. Okay? So now we can feel comfortable. We're taking the lives. There is a different issue that we need to ask, okay? If a person is behaving not much better than the animal, so the animal is crying, why are you taking my life? Maybe I need to take your life and to eat you. But if he's behaving much more moral than the animal, so the animal is feeling comfortable because it's moving up one stage ahead from becoming animal to becoming part of the human being. Fair enough. But those are two different things that we are taking from the animals, and we earned it. Noah, our forefather, the Noah that came out from the ark, worked hard for the time that he was in the ark, so we earned it. But there are two different things, because when we're taking the milk from the animal, it is helping her to not to feel too much in pain. So we are assisting the animal. When we're taking the life of the animal, it is something else that we need to be a bit ashamed that we're doing those things. Therefore, in the Hebrew tradition, we are not mixing milk with meat. Starting to realize what's happening here, right? Again, the Hebrew nation is observing this thing, keeping this thing, not to mix up the milk with the meat. Those are two different sources of the soul that we are using the animal. We're not mixing them up. A Noahide is not obligated to do this. Okay, if you want, you can go to the shelf of the Hebrew Nation. There's a big shelf there, you see, with a lot of books, and to decide to take this thing to himself. Fair enough. He's not obligated to do that. So Esav is going to the field where there is a battle, and he is hunting, killing the animals. He have a permission. Is this the best thing? I don't know. Let's go now. Let's jump another chapter. Just a moment here. Let's jump another chapter. We have no. Sorry. Let's first of all let me show you about Isaac. Something that we've heard, we've learned, we said more than once. A long chapter. Please read verse number 63.
63. And Isaac.
Done?
Sorry,
63, yes.
I'm muted on your side. Sorry, Rabbi. 63. And Isaac went forth to pray in the fields towards evening, and he lifted his eyes and saw, and behold, camels were approaching.
This is Rebecca coming to him. Where exactly he did it? In the field. Isaac is also a field man. He's going to the field. What is he doing in the field? He's praying. I will jump up another 2 chapters, and this is where we came. We're going to read it a bit. Oh, come on. It's a long one. Let's jump up 2 chapters. You will see what exactly is he doing in the fields. Please read verse number 18. Yes, 18.
18. And Isaac again dug the wells of water which they had dug in the days of his father Abraham, and the Philistines had stopped them up after Abraham's death, and he gave them names like the names that his father had given them.
So we have someone who is going to the field, not to kill animals, but to give life to the world. He's digging inside. Exactly, he's digging. I said it, I mentioned it last week. He's digging inside to give water to the world. Water is the thing that is giving life. Without water, we don't have life. 70% of the body is water. Okay? It's not me saying it, the science saying it. So let's see what are the names that he is giving. Please read verse number 19 and 20, please.
19. And Isaac's servants dug in the valley, and they found there a well of living waters. And the shepherds of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's shepherds, saying, the water is ours. So he named the well Esek, because they had contended with him.
The word Esek in Hebrew, Esek, okay, is like some sort of a fight. There's a fight with this well. Here, they're already in a very nice stage. They're not dumping it. They're not closing those wells. Okay, they're just fighting with the water.
Yeah, resources.
Let's go with the resources. Let's go to the next well.
21. And they dug another well, and they quarreled about it also. So he named it Sitna.
Sitna is a hateness. Okay, the word Sitna in Hebrew. In English, it's hateness. It's not being translated. It's the same word, but this is the meaning of the word sitna. Sitna is hateness. So we have one that is being called
Fight.
The other one is hatred. Let's go back let's go now to 22.
22. And he moved away from there, and he dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he named it Rehoboth. And he said, for now the Lord has made room for us, and we will be fruitful in the land.
And from there he's going to Beersheba. Now, the third one, the word Rehovot, okay, is space and space and space, a lot of space. Okay, a lot of space. So we have here 3 wells. Now, what is the meaning of a well? It's giving life to the world, right? We said it. It's giving water to the world. We have 3 main, I will say, we had in the history 2 temple mounts that was destroyed. The first one, we had a fight. The second one, we had a lot of hateness against us. And the third one that is going to be built very soon is going to bring blessing to the world, fruitful in the land, and for everybody, a lot of blessings. This is what Isaac is doing.
Wow, that is profound.
It's not mine. Our sages are saying it. I'm just bringing it in front of you, okay? Isaac is basically doing in action something that is giving life to the world. The first one, the second one is not managing, is not going, is not managing to stay. And the third one is going to give a lot of fruitful to all of the people of the world and to the land and everything else. And this is exactly what happened with the 2 temple mounts and the third one that is we're going to build with people of the world who are joining us, okay? Not like the first 2, that it was all the time a battle and the hateness against the Jewish people. This is what's happening here. Giving life to the world. In the field, what is the meaning of the field? Field is outside, not only at home, not only inside ourselves, not only, as I said it before, a Jewish like Jacob, who is sitting all the time inside the ghetto and learning for himself, and that's it. No, something that is going outside, giving life to the world, and building up the main point, the main well that is giving life to the world. Okay? Can we continue? Questions? Something that people want to know? If not, we'll continue. Starting to realize what is happening here. Isaac is very clear. Yeah, very clear, I will say.
Yeah, I see the tie of, from the prophets, the prophets, where they tie it into the wells. It's just profound, Rabbi. Thank you so much for sharing that.
It's not me, just I'm bringing in things that I've learned from the rabbis. You need to start to realize. No, fair enough. Thank you very much. It's not, but it's okay. Now let's continue a bit. Let's continue a bit more, and we will see another very interesting situation that is happening between Isaac and the people in the Hebrew land in those days. So let's read from 23 till no, let's read 23 till
the end.
No, till 20. Sorry.
Okay, and he went up.
Sorry, 26. Let's go from 26, please. From 26, I will tell you when to stop. Okay.
Okay.
Please.
And Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and a group of his companions, and Pekol his general. And Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, since you hate me, and you sent me away from you?" And they said, "We have seen that the Lord was with you." So we said, "Let there now be an oath between us, between ourselves and you, and let us form a covenant with you. If you do not harm us, as we have not touched you, and as we have done with you only good, and we sent you away in peace, so do you now, blessed of the Lord."
Another two verses, please.
So he made a feast for them, and they ate and drank, and they arose early in the morning, and they swore one to the other, and Isaac escorted them, and they went away from him in peace.
We have here something very similar that we had with Abraham in chapter 23, something like that. I can open in a moment to show this. After Abraham did such a covenant with the father of Abimelech, God said to him, "I promised you this land. If you did such a peace agreement with the people here in this land, give me back your son, because I gave you a son. I gave you a son to inherit this land. You don't want to inherit this land, give me back your son." And this is where the Akedah started. But here we don't have something the same results. But we do have something very interesting, that Isaac is willing to have a peace contract with people who hated him and sent him from his land, closed all the wells that his father did, fight it with him on the other wells. And even though Isaac is preferring to have a peace agreement and not to have fight with him. And this is also something that is teaching us about, I will say, the mindset of the Hebrew people. Okay, wherever it is that we can find the way of giving life to the others and not fighting with the others, it is the best for us. He also is with the image of God. Our sages have few hard points that they mention through this, and especially when King David is trying to conquer Jerusalem. So it says there, let me see if I'll find it in straight ahead. It says there that, let me see if I will find it. Just a moment, let me see, I'm sorry. Not Genesis. So also, I think it's here, I'm not sure. No, it's not here. Okay, there's I don't know, I don't remember where it is now at this moment, but when they try to conquer Jerusalem, so one of the things that they send them back, the people of Jerusalem, it wasn't to Joshua, it was after 200 to 300 years after that, after Joshua. It was in the Samuel time. And they said to them, look, go away, those who are a bit blind and don't know how to walk on your legs, because one of your legs is wounded. And basically what they said to them, look, your fathers swore to us that they're not going to conquer this land and they're going to leave us a place to live. Your father is Isaac, who can't see well. In a moment, we're going to see this in another few verses. And Jacob, who can't walk well after Esau is touching his leg. And our sages said that it wasn't 100% okay with Isaac to do with them this peace agreement. On the other side, we are learning as a Hebrew nation how much it is important to give to others the space to live. After all, Isaac, with a very open eyes to the situation, understand that his kids, his next generation is not going to be a big nation yet. Maybe another 3 generations, 4 generations. But now, they're not going to be a big generation. So he doesn't have any reason to fight with a different group there that is sitting in the land, where he can do a peace agreement and to bring blessing to everybody. And this is what he's doing there. And the next stage that will happen is that, read please verses 32 and 33, and this is the conclusion of this story.
32, and it came to pass on that day that Isaac's servants came and told him about the well that they had dug, and they said to him, we have found water, and he named it Sheba. Therefore, the city is named Beersheba until this very day.
So we have here a second time that it's called Beersheba. The main thing is that what is happening here, that at this point of time, God is helping to find another, I will say, source of life, another well of water, source of life. And this is how Isaac, who is a field man, he's not a person who is sitting all the time at home learning Torah with himself. He is going outside. He is trying. I don't know if you ever tried to dwell a well. I don't know if anyone ever tried. Today we also have all the machines, so it's very easy. Okay, you're putting a machine, and the machine is dwelling. Yes, all of this thing. But in those days, it was very hard thing to do. And there are 3 stages. Let me tell you how it's working, okay? First of all, it's very hard. And you're starting to drill. You're going down. You're going down, you're going down. And you're managing to go 2, 3, 4, 5 meters. Nothing, nothing. Some of the people here at this point of time, getting desperate, they're going away. And then what's happening? If you continue on to drill more, suddenly you're getting something very soured, a bit of water, a lot of mud. It's not water that you can drink. And a lot of people then, what's happening to them? This is it. We worked so hard, this is what we have, and they're going away. And what you need to have is a bit more patience to continue on and drilling more. And what is happening then? All the water that is underneath the ground starting to spring out. And then you're getting very good, tasty, good water that you can drink. But for this, you need to have those 3 stages, and it's very hard. And this is what Isaac was doing. He was working hard with his servants and everything else to find water to people around. The Israel state is filled up with water underneath the ground, a lot of caves like that. Again, water is something of a blessing of the Lord. Let's continue on, please. If there are any questions, yes. If not, we'll continue for those 2 verses are very important also, please.
34. And
34
Esau was 40 years old, and he married Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and they were a vexation of the spirit to Isaac and to Rebekah.
It's very important to realize. First of all, what was the age of Esau? 40. From where he have learned that at age 40 he needs to get married? From whom he've learned it? Isaac also. Isaac got married at the age of 40. So he said to himself, okay, I came to the age of 40, I need to get married. Jacob is not getting married. Now, very important point. Who was disappointed from this marriage? Who was disappointed? Both of them. Okay? We remember already that that Isaac loved Esau and Rebekah loves Jacob. We saw this verse already. Now we know that even though Isaac is a bit disappointed, and even though that Isaac is a bit disappointed, and here we're coming to the promo for next week. I'm not going to go to this chapter now, just I'm going to show it went to the other side, just a moment. Sorry. Please read the first 4 verses.
And it came to pass when Isaac was old and his eyes were too dim to see that he called Esau his elder son, and he said to him, My son. And he said to him, Here I am. And he said, Behold, now I have grown old, I do not know the day of my death. So now sharpen your implements, your sword, and take your bow, and go forth to the field, and hunt game for me, and make for me tasty foods as I like, and bring them to me, and I will eat, in order that my soul will bless you before I die.
But we saw a verse ago, that Isaac is very disappointed from Esau, right? So this is only a promo. It is one of the most hardest chapters in Genesis, chapter 27, okay, where Jacob is stealing the blessings from Esau. We need to understand what is happening here. It's very important to realize what is happening here. And we need to, first of all, to ask ourselves the first question. Isaac is already disappointed from Esau. Why is he calling Esau to give him the blessings? So what? He's disappointed from his behavior. He's not an idiot person, Isaac. Something there is much more, I will say, there is more reasons inside of what's happening in this story. And this is what we're going to learn. Yeah, so first of all, again, I'm glad this is the second time that I'm getting strength, that things that I'm teaching, you remember them and we can speak about them. So thank you very much. But I won't go, I will continue on to teach. But you're right, you're more than right. And we need to understand exactly what is happening here in this chapter. It is very complicated with the few levels. We're going to learn this next week. Hopefully, we're going to start on this next week. I think that next week we're going to teach to see everything with this. The question is: are we going to stay in the 8 o'clock? Done. Now it's your turn to say something. From time to time, we're going to start it at 8:30. So maybe we want to move always the lesson to 8:30. What do you say, Dan? What do you say, people? It's okay to move it to 8:30.
Yeah, he's talking about Israel time, which is, I mean, it works for me, Rabbi. At the later time, even when we don't have the other class, it allows me to get an extra half-hour nap before. Yeah, because Rabbi Ingber has moved his an hour earlier because he's in Israel now and he's going to be doing his class from Israel. So I used to be able to get maybe an hour nap between the classes. Yeah, it's just staying up all night and.
Okay, so fair enough. So let's go on this. From now on, this lesson will start at 8:30. Okay.
8:30 Israel time,
8:30,
right?
yes, Israel time. Okay, and then let's publish it and everything else, and I will also send it on the emails and everything else. Another point that I want to mention, I'm giving those, we're trying to give insights every week through the YouTube of 4 or 5 minutes of an insight. Give me feedback, speak, ask, give notes there, share it, do likes, whatever it is. Ask questions if you don't agree or disagree. If something is not clear enough, don't hesitate, please. It's very important for us. We're doing a big, I will say, we want to do a big change with things to spread out this Noahide movement and to have more people around the world. So we need your help. We need your insights. We need your thoughts. We need your participants. Please feel comfortable. It's okay. Feel comfortable with all of us. Questions, things that you want to mention, things that's on your mind, things that's bothering you. This is the time. We have another 10, 15 minutes.
Rabbi,
yes.
I have a question.
Yes, chat.
So
please,
earlier,
just again, from where are you in the world, please?
I'm from Franklin, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember. Okay, fair enough.
So
Yes.
Earlier you mentioned something about the Noah taking care of the animals, and as a result, we earn the right to kill the animals, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because we take care of a lot of things. Does that give us a right to kill them? It doesn't make sense. Like,
okay,
what
I
if
will
a person
explain
takes
this.
care of their child, right? Do they have a right to kill them?
First of all, a long history. Only in the last something like maybe 1,000 years from now, that people think that they don't need to sacrifice their firstborn son. It was really normal thought. It's mine. I will sacrifice him to God. This was one of the things. We're saying something a bit different, and we need to be a bit more, I will say, exact with this thing. If we're looking for a moment, Adam didn't have a permission to eat animals. Okay, he didn't have a permission to eat animals. Let's see this for a moment in the verse. I think it's already in chapter 1. No, just a moment. Number 29, please read number 29.
29, and God said, Behold, I have given you every seed bearing herb which is upon the surface of the entire earth, and every tree that has seed bearing fruit. It will be yours for food.
So we're speaking only about seeds, right? We're not giving any permission to eat any animals. Right, Chad? Fair enough. Now there's a problem. What happened along the history until the flood is people thought that animals and human beings are on the same level. and they allowed themselves to kill people and not to kill animals. And things got upside down. This is the main thing I can say. Until the state where God said in chapter 6, something really hard, really hard, that please read verses 5, 6, and 7.
5. And the Lord saw that the evil of man was great in the earth, and every imagination of his heart was only evil all the time. And the Lord regretted that he had made man upon the earth, and he became grieved in his heart. And the Lord said, I will blot out man, whom I created from upon the face of the earth, from man to cattle to creeping thing, to the fowl of the heavens, for I regret that I made them.
First of all, it's very hard words because God and the scripture of the Bible, it's not a journalist. It's not just describing something that we will get excited. God really was upset that he did this thing that it's called human being. But I have a question. If God is so upset with the human and how he is behaving, so why does he need to also to wipe off all the cattle, all the creeping things? Why? What is the relationship between them? And this is what I said before, and we can see this also in Rashi, okay? That here it is, it says like that. And Rashi is the most exact thing. See, they too corrupted their way. See? They too corrupted their way.
From man to
And
cattle.
this is, yes, exactly. They too corrupted their way, their behavior. What happened is that men and animals felt that they're on the same level. You're not eating them, you're not allowed to eat them, they're not allowed to eat you. We're on the same level. And one of the things that happened after the flood that God understood, I will say it like that, that we need to educate men that there is a different level between men and animal. Therefore, after the flood, straight after the flood, I'm going to
It
hide
says the
Rashi.
dread. Yeah, the dread of all animals, or the dread. Yeah, the dread of man would be on all animals. Yeah.
When Noah went out from the ark, see, he went out from the ark, and then God is telling him the 7 laws of Noah. And one of the things that he's saying to him,
Verse 2, yeah.
Verse 2 and 3, please.
And your fear and your dread shall be upon all the beasts of the earth, and upon all the fowl of the heavens, upon everything that creeps upon the ground, and upon all the fish of the sea, for they have been given into your hands. And yeah, I understand that as
Just a moment. Please read also verse 3.
3. Every moving thing that lives shall be yours to eat, like the green vegetation. I have given you everything.
Like the green vegetation I gave to Adam and Eve, now I'm giving you everything also the good. Now, why God did it? Because he understands, or he's trying to teach, to educate men that there's a different level between men and animal. What is happening when you're trying to do, sorry for my words, but it is true, we know that. What is happening when man is trying to do sexual relationship with monkey? The AIDS will come, okay? But there's supposed to be a different level between men and animals, okay? And now, this is what God is trying to teach us for the next coming few thousand years, the differences. But on the other side, you can't say that when God is trying to teach us something, it's not related also to some sort of a moral behavior of us. And this is what I mentioned. When Noah worked hard in the ark, so part of the animals stayed alive because of Noah. This is what gave us morally the possibility of becoming one step ahead, above the animals. Now, at the end of the days, we won't eat again animals. One of the things that will happen is that we will all be vegetarians, like Adam and Eve. This is what will happen at the end of the days. We're not there yet, but we're starting to smell it. The vegetarian movement is growing up. I will say it like that. More than that, today, the science is trying to build up meat that is coming from the vegetarian, right? You know that. All those things we know today. So we are moving to the stage where we're not going to kill animals anymore. But this is only because we moved after few thousand years. We started to realize that there's a difference between us and animals, and we have responsibility. So I mentioned the one side, the moral side of the behavior, but there's a bit more complicated situation here. Okay? I hope I was clear enough.
Yeah, Chad, one thing that Rabbi shared with me before, and my wife was a cattle farmer, and all I can say is that when you milk the cow, you alleviate the cow. There's a really big necessity. If you don't milk the cow daily, the cow just could explode, right? The point is, it's part of our purpose in tending to things. And so that relationship with animals that man had was disturbed, is the way the rabbi is reading it prior to the flood, and off base, off purpose. But at the beginning, when they were on the ark, Noah and his family tended to the animals, and it alleviated them of their distress. Like a cow goes into massive distress if you don't milk it daily, right? It goes into massive distress, and it could die if you don't milk it, right? If you just let it go. And so you gotta attend to it for the sake of life, and I think that's where Rabbi's tying that all in.
But Rabbi, I want to mention something. The laws of kosher, I think, is very important for everyone to understand. And personally, I think everyone should observe those laws, because at the very minimum, the way the butchers, slaughter the animal, I think should be a reason enough for anyone to start eating kosher meat.
Is on the other side, again, I'm saying it is not so easy to keep kosher everywhere in the world. Therefore, be careful what you're taking upon yourself. It's okay to take. I'm not saying not to eat kosher. Those who wants to eat kosher, it's fine. But don't start fights. Don't start fights with your wife. She will take you to a surprise birthday party in a meal in some sort of restaurant, and you say, "Oh, it's not kosher. I can't eat it." Be careful, please, Mike. Don't do this to your wife.
Thank you for the.
He's taking me for bacon tomorrow.
Fair enough. Excellent chat. Okay. Next week, 8:30. See you all. Have a great week.
All right. Sounds good to me, Rabbi. So we're going to sign out for today. Catch the Torah wave, everybody. And come back for our Genesis class next week at the new time of 8:30 p.m. in Israel, and wherever that works out, wherever you are in the world. We know you're all around the planet, people tuning in from all over. It's always a joy to see people coming back. Feel free to like this video and share it on social media. We appreciate everybody that comes out and growing, and we're just so excited. The Noahide World Center is taking some next stages and trying to keep growing, and it's just so exciting. So catch the Torah wave. We're going to sign out for today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Salam.
See you all next week.